this Wednesday, September 30th, 2020, Sylvania Board of Education meeting to order. Lisa, if you'll call the roll, please.
Vicki Nana,
Here.
Julie Hoffman.
Here.
Shannon Sapersky.
Here.
Bruce Monslitsky.
Here.
Greg Feller.
Here.
Say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we do have a request for public participation, but it's for a non-agenda item. So, Mr. Hildebrandt, if you are watching, we will put you on public participation at the end. And with that, I will turn to you, Dr. Motley.
Good afternoon, everyone. Boy, how time flies. It is the last day of September already. So, been a very productive day, but I'll jump right into the agenda. Item 3.1, we are recommending an academic calendar update for this school year. More specifically, the updates and revisions include a change in date for our K-12 conferences due to the election day falling during the school day in which our students would attend. So we are recommending a change in revision to the 2020-2021 district academic calendar.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions?
So there are going to be conferences that day?
We are using...
Yeah, generally for election day, Board of Elections uses a handful of our buildings. So just for safety and security of the kids, we generally have that not be a school day, a PD day, what have you. With the changes of all the calendars this year, that we would have just changed that to the Intervention Enrichment Day, which normally takes place on Friday, but ironically that week it is our K-12 parent-teacher conferences. So we're going to move K-12 parent-teacher conferences to Tuesday that week. The A group will go Monday, Wednesday. B group will go Thursday, Friday. And there won't be students in the building on that election day. So that's the main reason for that change. Just for safety and security of kids being in buildings. Probably a higher turnout with the presidential election, just in and out of our building. I think they use like 8 buildings the last election period. But they're just open to possible.
Yeah, I remember. I just wondered if the conferences got changed from a different day. So
they were originally the 13th, which was that Friday.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, not the 13th, it would have been the 6th, which was that Friday, and then we just moved them to the 3rd.
Okay.
Yep.
Will there be like extra cleaning being done after all these people are in the buildings?
That will be a recommendation we can make definitely to Dawn. Yes, absolutely.
And how will we communicate? Because I appreciate you bringing this to us so timely that we're giving parents about 4.5 weeks notice to, you know, that there will be no school that day. How will this be communicated, this update for parents on changing the conferences as well as no in-class instruction?
I know Amy, pending board approval, Amy has things ready to go that will get out tomorrow just so they're up to date on that. And then principals will follow up with parents and weekly updates and things like that as well.
Sure. I think there's a lot of communication going on, so as frequently as we can remind them if there's no instruction that day, that'll be great.
So, sorry, there's conferences again on the 13th?
Yeah, those are just kindergarten through 5 conferences. Generally, they use 2 days.
Okay. So they'll be split?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So they'll probably do half their class on the 3rd, half their class on the 13th. We are allowing teachers this year too. It makes complete sense. Just to either do conferences in person or virtually with parents if they want to do it that way. Kind of like open houses and things like that in place with some elementaries as well.
Any other comments or questions?
I just hope we're going to see this calendar change again, as it shows the AB through the whole year.
Yes. I think this is the calendar as it stands right now, but stay tuned. So appreciate you bringing this to us for this change coming up. And with that, if you'll call the roll, Lisa.
Vicki Nana,
Yes.
Julie Hoffman.
Yes.
Shannon Sapersky.
Yes.
Bruce Monslitsky.
Yes.
Greg Feller.
Yes.
Item 3.2 is administrative resignation. It is bittersweet that I'm asking approval for the acceptance letter and resignation for Alan Rachel. It's my understanding that Alan has been with our district for 21 years and served in the same position. And boy, you don't hear of that too much anymore, but I know he has big shoes to fill. And I personally he welcomed me into the district so warmly. We haven't had a lot of time to work together, but I told him from my heart to his, he has big shoes to fill. He has a historical knowledge about the ins and outs and inner workings of all our physical facilities. So anyone who comes in, it will be a steep learning curve, but hopefully he won't go too far away, but I know he's excited to enjoy the next path of his life's journey in retirement. So we do wish him the best, even though we are sad to see him go. So we are recommending accepting the resignation of Mr. Alan Bacho.
I'll move approval.
Second.
We will indeed miss him. I hope he will remain a phone call away because there's some knowledge you just can't replace, and his knowledge through all the projects we've been in over his 20 years is vast and substantial, and we'll be sorry to see him go, and indeed good shoes to fill. If you'll call the roll, please.
Julie Hoffman,
Yes.
Bruce Lanslowski,
Yes.
Vicki Donovan Lyle,
Yes.
Shannon Sapersky,
Yes.
Greg Feller.
Yes.
Item 3.3, we are also recommending the administrative resignation or the approval thereof for Mr. Keith Limes. I would like it known that Keith has spent 14 years in Sylvania schools. He has served 3 years as the assistant principal at McCord Junior High, 3 years as an assistant and 5 years as building principal, 2 years as an executive director of HR, and 4 years as assistant SUP, for a total of 14 years. He too has a historical knowledge and will certainly be missed. But we thank him for his years of service here in the district and for our families and our teachers and staff.
I'll move approval.
Second.
And we appreciate, as you said, even with the 21 years, 14 years, we're appreciative of the time that folks spend with us on our behalf, and appreciate the service that he's given. So with that, if you'll call the roll, please.
Julie Hoffman,
Yes.
Shannon Sapersky,
Yes.
Vicki Donovan Lyle,
Yes.
Bruce Lanslowski,
Yes.
Greg Feller.
Yes.
Item 4 is falling under human resources. This will be a consent agenda item, but we have item 4.1, which is a classified new hire, 4.2, which is also a classified new hire, and item 4.3 is a classified adjustment of substitute wages, and item 4.4 is recommending the approval of items 4.1 through 4.3.
I move that we approve items 4.1 to 4.3.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Lisa, it looks like your offices are getting filled up, so with
Yes.
these approvals, then will you be all set to address the resignations or retirements that have occurred?
The ones that have occurred so far, I think I'm expecting one more before the end of the year, if not 2 more.
Diane must stay.
I would like that.
Right? Well, we appreciate the new folks coming on board. If you'll call the roll, please.
Bruce Lanslowski,
Yes.
Greg Feller,
Yes.
Vicki Donovan Lyle,
Yes.
Julie Hoffman,
Yes.
Shannon Sapersky.
Yes.
Thank you. With that, does anyone have committee reports, announcements for the good of the order?
Nothing for me.
Greg?
Nothing.
Okay, Shannon?
Are we? No. I guess not.
Rivalry week, it is rivalry week.
It is rivalry week.
Rivalry week.
Oh, and tomorrow night you have the script
I
Sylvania.
do, I'm so excited. I actually thought I brought down the announcement, but yes, I will be there tomorrow at the Crosstown Classic. I will be the MC. I am ready for rain or shine. My boots are shined up. I'm ready. I have an umbrella and a raincoat. And I've actually put my script in plastic sleeves, so I'm ready to go. I'm so excited. Since I'm a big Ohio State fan, script means so much to me. So I'm excited to see what Sylvania looks like. It'll be great for our schools to come together and do that. So come out and join us if you can. I think it's more of a stay in your car and listen type thing, but I'm excited for our students to get together and play.
Thank you for doing, we're trying to make the best of
Yes, we
the
are.
circumstances that we have, and I look forward to the future when you can see our bands marching across the field in Script Sylvania, because it's a pretty cool sight to see. All right, with that, we are at public participation for non-agenda items. So Mr. Hildebrandt, if you are listening, we'll give you a call now.
This is Stephen.
Mr. Hildebrandt, this is Vicki Lyle calling from the Sylvania Board of Education along with my colleagues, Dr. Motley.
Hi.
Hi there. Calling to, with regard to your request for public participation, if you could kindly state your name and address for the record and then share your comments, we would appreciate it.
Sure, will do. My name is Stephen Hildebrandt. My current address is 25701 West 12 Mile Road, Southfield, Michigan. However, my mother's address, who is a 5th grade teacher at Highland, is 5910 Fairfield Drive, Sylvania, Ohio, and it's mostly in regards to that topic. So I am coming to you as a concerned party regarding plans to fully opening Sylvania schools with all students simultaneously in attendance. My greatest concern is how this could negatively affect the health and well-being of the staff and teachers that make Sylvania schools one of the best public academic systems for parents and students, as well as families of the community. This conversation seems to be pushed into having more students in physical attendance in school past the current 50-50 plan. The main issue with that I would like to bring up is that the safety of both the students, teachers, and other staff members working in the schools, there is not currently a physical way to comply with the minimum requirements of the CDC to not spread this deadly virus with the current sizes of teachers' classrooms. The minimum guidelines to put us in a position of just some risk, which even then is not 100% safe for students and teachers, would be small in-person classes, activities, and events by keeping at least 6 feet between yourself and anyone that is not in your same household, including wearing a mask. Anything more than what the schools are currently doing is greatly increasing the risks of infection, possible hospitalization, mandated quarantine, and even statistical loss of life for one or more of our teachers, staff members, or even students. Statistical probability for me would be losing my mother, or having another teacher's family to lose their loved one permanently because the situation is difficult during this pandemic. It cannot be considered a political or statistical risk the community should take. It seems that many are not fully comprehending that we are still in the midst of a deadly global pandemic and lives are at risk. Leaders in the medical arena agree that risks cannot be diminished until a viable, tested, and easily accessible vaccine is widely available and a significant portion of the population chooses to become immunized. The above process is obviously months away. Opening up Sylvania schools, hoping that infection rates don't become as critical as predicted, seemingly bending to political pressure, is moving us closer and closer to the probable loss of one or more of the Sylvania schools family. Is bowing to political pressure and only partially following some of the recommendations of the CDC by adapting the standards of our spaces rather than staying in compliance with the experts more knowledgeable than ourselves inherently worth the risk. This seems a gamble our community should not take. In conclusion, I do not want to lose my mother or have another Sylvania family lose a loved one while we currently have a viable and while not the easiest solution, saving lives should be the largest priority until this pandemic has been safely navigated through. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I can call. No, I'll call back.
If that's okay, I don't know if this board is comfortable with me. I
I
need
am.
to ask
Yep.
your permission
Yep.
to respond,
Absolutely.
if I may. Okay.
I'll apologize for getting up. Let's see, 9.
Okay, sorry.
So no, my apologies. It was on our end. So Dr. Motley would like to respond to your comments.
Sure.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Hildebrandt. I hope you can hear me okay.
Yes, I can.
Good, good. I first want to thank you for calling in and expressing your concern and advocating for the safety and well-being of not only our students and staff here in Sylvania, but also your mother, who I actually had the pleasure of speaking to earlier this week. So I want to say thank you for calling in, and I appreciate your comments. And I want to say on behalf of myself, and I know the Board of Education, we certainly take our current COVID pandemic situation quite seriously. It has been and remains to be a priority topic for us in every form and fashion, and has been for the last several months. And with that said, I actually just left about an hour ago, maybe an hour and 20 minutes ago, if that long, a meeting where we actually convened with a committee, with our Phase 2 Reopening Committee for elementary schools. That committee is comprised of not only parents from our district, but also classroom teachers from across the district. We had our union president there, we had an OC representative there, and we also had administrators in the room. And the one thing that I will say, it is a priority for us to keep our students and staff safe, as well as another priority to make sure we're providing an engaging education for our students, especially our youngest Sylvanians. We actually did share tonight, and I share with the public in general who's watching maybe from home, that we are looking at following the CDC guidelines, and more specifically those indicators and thresholds for schools that they initiated about a week ago. And of those thresholds, and it speaks specifically with the indicators in regards to level of risk and the ability for a school district to implement all 3 areas of mitigating strategies. And I can say, I'm pleased to say that in Sylvania, we are able to follow all 5, or at a minimum 4, of those mitigating strategies on a consistent or inconsistent basis, which would put us in the lower risk of transmission in our schools based on the definition by the CDC. Additionally, the one thing that I am also proud to say is that we have taken it a step further here in Sylvania in regards to providing plexiglass as another safety measure that we are providing for our students and our staff. And we're not finished with just plexiglass, because part of our conversation tonight is a recommendation from also other agencies that if we provide masks, which our teachers and students are already wearing, but if we give them another layer of protection, such as a shield to go over that mask, in addition to gloves or any other protective wear, we are able to mitigate COVID quite confidently. And that is working with our local health department. So based on the criteria from the CDC, which gives us an understanding of not only our commitment to the community burden or spread of the virus, looking at those numbers, which you probably already know, Lucas County is on a downward trend, which makes my heart happy, because that's a healthy state for everyone in the area. But also in being able to consistently or correctly or inconsistently implement the mitigating strategies on top of the additional measures we have taken, we are looking at options to bring more in-person direct instruction to our students, because we do realize that our youngest Sylvanians need to be in school in order to have their foundational skills. We will step cautiously. We will make sure we take the right measures and put them in place to make sure our students and staff are safe, and following the CDC guidelines and working with our local health department, because just in case we do have to pivot, we want to make sure we have a plan for that. And more importantly, whatever framework we put in place has to be able to accommodate or withstand an outbreak. I know there's a district not too far from here right now that has 100 some odd kids, 150 plus children out of school. But I will say they did not close their district. They isolated the cases, they did their COVID tracing, which we are also a part of, to make sure they kept those other students safe. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that as a board and as a district, we are doing our due diligence to revisit a plan to increase daily instruction, but we by no means are reducing the priority of keeping our students and staff safe. Our faculty is important to us, our staff is important to us, and that will remain a priority, alongside providing more instruction for our students in person. But I just wanted to make sure I had the chance to share that information with you this evening.
Thank you. Hearing that is very reassuring.
Thank you so much. You have a good evening, sir.
Thank you for your time this
You
evening.
too.
Bye-bye. Okay, and with with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session 4.
The preparation or review of negotiations with public employees and the safety and security of students.
I think I moved, or did I say that?
I'll second.
You call the roll, please.
Vicki Donovan Lyle,
Yes.
Julie Hoffman,
Yes.
Sheena Sapersky,
Yes.
Bruce Lanslewski,
Yes.
Craig Feller.
Yes.
And there will be no action taken this evening.